Dude, look at my freaking cat. Chillin'. Whisper. He's so happy with his new cat tree. What? Why are you looking at me like that? His tail's going, twitching. He's excited. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be talking about something that's really special and meaningful to me. Basically, I'm going to be telling you about why I got a life coach. Kind of wanted to talk about the difference between a life coach and a therapist, since there is a lot of overlap, but there's some major key differences. A life coach is more of somebody who looks at a client holistically and looks at their future and measures things in actions, versus a therapist that likes to look at your past, really dig into the emotional reasons why maybe you are the way you are. So I started seeing the life coach about 7 months ago, and what had led up to that point was I was working a full-time job, I was in sales, and I was starting to feel this kind of deep unhappiness within myself. It wasn't that, the job wasn't good. I was making really great money. I was doing really successfully as a salesperson, and things were going great. But there was this pit in my stomach telling me I'm not feeling fulfilled on the life trajectory that I've set out for myself. The first instance where I thought, maybe I should get a life coach was I started reading this book. Shameless plug, You Are a Badass. It's a little bit corny, but it really spoke to me and made me realize that
I wasn't living my truth.
I felt like I was living a safe life because that's what I had been raised to do. So that was sort of reason number one. Reason number two, this book was talking about what dreams do you have that scare you the absolute most? And I didn't like thinking about that thought. I was like, well, I don't want to say it out loud. I mean, they're dreams, but
they're just dreams. They're not attainable.
And then slowly, as I let the lessons really permeate, I realized that I did really want to pursue acting. Once I became honest with myself about what I truly wanted, I was like, why aren't you doing it? What is stopping you truly? I mean, we live one life and you're just gonna choose something that's safe, that you're not gonna really fail at, versus giving it your all towards something that actually means something to you. That doesn't make sense. Around March, I decided on a really bad drive home. LA traffic is god awful. And I had basically a full meltdown in traffic and was like, I cannot do this for one more single day. That's when I gave my notice to my job. Just started, putting out all these feelers for going back into the industry, going into it a second time. Oh, okay, just leave. So I started sending out all these feelers and booked like a little short film project really right off the bat and was like feeling really psyched about it. But the missing piece was I felt that I needed guidance this time around. There were a lot of bad habits, bad emotional habits that I had developed over the years that I'd always recognized probably weren't serving me to the fullest, but I didn't really know how to break those habits. So I got a referral from a friend for my current life coach, and I started seeing her. And my life has been drastically different. It's not really tangible. It's more of a deep emotional change and growth that you feel within yourself. So we started off, working together, basically just kind of putting it out on the table and telling her, well, this is why I'm seeing you. I'm going through this big change. I'm completely unemployed and just, dove right back into the acting industry. Over the courses of several months, seeing her on a weekly basis, we really got to tackle, some of those bigger issues I was talking about earlier. Not only were we talking about why those habits weren't serving me, but we talked about how those habits developed. A lot of it goes back to childhood and your upbringing and the ways that you were taught to perceive the world. Breaking some of those habits is not easy. It's still something that I struggle with on a daily basis, but it requires, my full attention, my full awareness, And some of the things that we do in our sessions is we do all these little exercises. So I'm going to show you some of them just so you can get an idea. So I think the first thing that is really key to the process for me was we introduced the idea of your inner little child, so a little girl for me. And talking to her, it felt unnatural at first, but the whole point of the practice was to address her in ways that she had felt she had been neglected before when she was being raised. So we do a bunch of little projects. I have all these worksheets, talking about my story, what I'm manifesting, my passions, and they're really great tangible ways and, essentially put in the universe, what I truly want out of my life. So one of the most significant exercises that we actually worked on was creating my story. So the purpose of creating the story was to put onto paper, well, what's the inner dialogue that you have going on in your head, and that's ultimately contributing to every single decision you make in your life. Is that serving you? Is that the story that you want to be telling yourself? So when we initially wrote my story, I found that it was pretty negative. There was a lot of inner battling. I was definitely very harsh on myself, and I came to find that with the acting world, it wasn't serving me because all of a sudden I didn't feel motivated, because all of a sudden I was making decisions 100% for me. And me beating myself down made my acting career that much less tangible. So what we did was we rewrote my story into something really beautiful and meaningful to me. And it was so meaningful that I actually wrote it and painted a picture frame and hung it up on my wall. Another fun element of the life coach is that sometimes she gives me little presents to, again, appeal to the little girl in me. So something that I got was this little cute glittery ball that lights up. So that's all I have for you this week. I hope you enjoyed hearing about my life coach. It's really a great experience. I can't, recommend it enough. I think everyone should see some form of therapist. I think is beneficial to every single human being. I think this stigma that you have to be going through something tough or you have to be crazy to be seeing a therapist is completely false. I think, going to therapy makes you a more realized version of yourself and helps you become a better person. And I think we all can, really benefit from that. If you liked this week's video, feel free to give it a like and subscribe to my channel for more dysfunctional adulting content. Thanks so much, guys.